logos, it use a different um, use a different tool to put things in where I want them, and then I'll go and put that back into ChatGPT and say, can you recreate it? Maybe it will do a little better or something, but this one actually ended up pretty good in Canva. And then we created these branding images for them. We built their website on Claude, which we have a Claude AI webinar maybe next Friday and then next where we do a live build. So maybe you guys can come to that. But and we created these images for his branding to make it kind of cohesive and not so boring. And I think they just turned out so sick. It was like just inspiration kind of took over, I think, and we got excited about this one where the images look pretty good. And then if you go to the actual packages, yeah, the packages create these cool images. And then this is like when you to send a text to somebody, this one will also show up. So that's one idea of how, AI image is not just those flyers that you see for events on your Facebook and social media. Like you can do way more than that. So these are some more applied things for that one. Another thing is this, if anybody is using Gamma, oh, I can't sign in for some reason. So fun. Oh,
I don't know.
uh, if anyone's using Gamma to create your presentations, we use Gamma to create our presentations. And I actually just finished recording a social media course, an AI-powered social media course, and I used Gamma to populate some images. I used ChatGPT to populate images, but I just wanted to show you guys like the PowerPoint. If anyone's interested in a social media course, as somebody, if you know somebody that wants to create a new business for themselves or learn a new skill, I'm launching this course in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And so there's a wait list on our website. It's Innovative Compass, and then you can go and .com and you can go and join the wait list here, and you'll get a message about that. So for some reason, I feel like Gamma has gotten really slow. I don't know if the app is just really big or my Wi-Fi is just not the best. But it just takes quite a long time. That was the only downfall of using Gamma this time. It's never moved this slow, but it could be just where I'm at in Mexico with my Wi-Fi. But yeah, these are pretty sick images. It kind of pulled together and then it designs these PowerPoints like this. I did not have to go in and design the PowerPoints, and it just populates the things just from a little button here. Um, if I click into it, I can go and add um, a slide and then populate something with AI. I think this one's just going too slow. So we're not going to use Gamma, but you can go and just populate a new slide and it will design it. And then you can redesign it with AI and images, add images. So Gamma, I highly recommend, except just make sure you're on good Wi-Fi. Another case study that is this video and the power of AI video. And I wanted to show you just a little bit of how you can create a bunch of images, put them together, make a really cool video. I used a combination of ChatGPT and Midjourney to create that, which is what we're going to be talking about today is those image tools, image creation tools, and how I use them together to create something. And then I used CapCut to put all of this together. But this took me about 3 hours to do, but it was my first one. So here we go.
Break it down simply. Imagine you have a really smart robot friend and you ask him, hey, where can I get some ice cream? It doesn't pull up a long list of places like Google used to. Instead, it thinks and gives you just a few top answers, the one it believes are the best. Now picture a whole street full of ice cream shops. But here's the thing, only the shops that have actually taught the robot who they are, what flavors they have, what makes them special, and why people love them are the ones it remembers to mention. That's what GEO is. It's how we teach the robots about your business. So they remember you and recommend you when people ask for help. Start teaching the robots today with our GEO strategy.
Yeah, start teaching the robots today. That's what we're doing every day when we're using these tools. And isn't that crazy? But yeah, if y'all don't know what GEO is, that is one of our webinars as well, where we're implementing GEO into these websites and businesses that helping them get found in AI search. But yeah, this one took me a while, but like all of those images needed to be moved and created and then put together. But these types of videos would take a lot of other resources in the real world if we wanted to put something like that together with a videographer or something. But yeah, so those are just a few case studies for how I've used these tools. And it's not a flyer for an event. And last one I wanted to show you was this that I like unlocked in my brain the other day because we're in Cabo. We have this client here. We're doing and promoting her condos. And so we are creating this blog page for her to be found in AI search and on Google. And we needed a bunch of blog images. And it was just like, I was like, oh, we have to go in. My brain was even like, we have to go get images and have a photo day to get blog images. And I was like, no, we don't. Like, we could actually create something. So I went and took like two different pictures and created this versus blog cover image. And then need to create one for here. And then I took this image off of online, changed the clouds. There was a person sitting on this bee, and I took the person off. So, and it works. And this is like an iconic place in Cabo. People take pictures here. And then I made this fish picture. I don't think it looks too bad, but and then I made this like date night picture. So yeah, so like there's some just practical ways you can weave it into something and into a project that isn't just again an AI flyer. Oh my gosh, sorry. But so just want to put that out there. What's y'all's take right now on like anyone have some opinions on AI image generating? Um, I would love to hear y'all's perspective while I dive into ChatGPT. So we're gonna start there. I wanted to show you guys this morning. I was brainstorming of because you know the practical ways to use these tools. It's not to make like not always for um, marketing, but and for blogs, but we want to use them for our businesses, right? Like, and so I was thinking of our blog page. I have not dove into our blog page, and really because to commit to a style sometimes it's like having commitment issues. I don't know why I can't commit to a blog style, but we just have let chat. We've just let Claude, um, we've just let Claude um, do this random image right now and with coloring like it doesn't look awful but like there's nothing to it, so I took it into ChatGPT this morning and was like I need some ideas of blog creating. I don't spell right. If you guys see me in ChatGPT, I never spell right, but I need some blog creating an art style. Yeah, sorry about the Zoom link this morning, guys. But yeah, so I just like asked it for like what art style do you think that would look good for this? And something about like I didn't go to art school. I don't know a lot of art styles. I've had to actually go and when I started using Midjourney 4 or 5 years ago, actually, and when it was in Discord, and it's in Discord still, but you have to have a subscription to not use the Discord version. Um, I don't know the art styles. I didn't know what like surrealism was. I didn't know what like fine line, like I don't know what all those technically mean always. And so I kind of had to build up those skills in my head of like of even just knowing a few art styles so I could like use them over time. But I don't know like what Swiss Tech editorial. I would never know how to tell that to an AI, like use Swiss Tech editorial for my blog images. I don't know all of those keywords in my head. So I'll kind of brainstorm with ChatGPT and say like, hey, like what is an art style that would work for our business? Because I don't want it to be so goofy or something or too artistic and look unprofessional. So just brainstorming with chat to get some ideas. Bauhaus meets AI. I'm not sure what that means. So I'll get it to create me something and then I'll like say yes or no. Like that's the power of these tools. Architectural blueprints. I could see where it's going with that with just those words, but I didn't love that. 3D objects. I have tried that one before. It's not bad. And I could go and use Midjourney as a I could go and use Midjourney as a co-creative tool to even understand what it means by those keywords. And I will hop back and forth. Um, I will hop back and forth just so that you know how I co-create with these tools. Co-creation is not always linear. So I'll go and go into these. Sometimes I don't want this style page.
Insert some examples of these prompts. So,
Yeah. Okay, images. So this is the inside of Midjourney. And then I'll go back into and I'll dive a little bit more in there, but I want to see something for like, and I can go and type these keywords, like what is Bauhaus meaning? And the reason why I use both of these tools is sometimes one will create what I'm looking for more than the other. And I just love Midjourney as a source of inspiration as well. So this is what Bauhaus means. Now I know what that means. Like I've seen this art style many a times, but I didn't. That wouldn't be kind of cool on our website as well. But then I can also go and look up Swiss Tech Editorial, which is ChatGPT's favorite apparently. So and does anything come up with it? Okay, not what it technically created for me. Very interesting. So this search bar, I think, is just like gold because you can go and type all kinds of things in here, like even blog, and just kind of see what people are using as blog images. Because I'm like, I haven't been on a website or, I haven't been on random people's websites in a while. Like, what are people, putting as blog images to get a source of inspiration? Something else, just might be squirreling a little bit here, but like you can go and type in like web, no, like app design, and you can get an inspiration for what your app design wants to look like so that you can tell Claude or ChatGPT what kind of design style you're going for. And what I like to do is like, hey, what is this design style? I'm not a UI, UX graphic designer, so I'm not sure the names. So I'll say, what is this art style? Or what is this UX UI design? And then how do I communicate that to a Claude or a ChatGPT to create that app? You can even put like web page design as well. And then it'll give you some inspiration. And then you can even, use these for later, or you can take it into ChatGPT. I mean, Claude. Nope, they're all C names. Canva, and like manipulate it yourself, change some things around, and then give it back to ChatGPT. It's like this beautiful co-creative process, right? Okay, so I digress. We'll go back in Midjourney, but I wanted to show you back into our blog and the rest of this conversation for Innovative Compass. So it gives me all these style guides, art style ideas. And so then I say, can you make me this one? And I didn't read it, obviously, because it didn't create a good output. And that's what happens when you don't, have good input, you get not very good output. And I was like, whoa, well, at least I understood what the art style he was talking about. That's what I did learn from this. I can be lazy in my prompts sometimes, but this says, whoa, whoa, can you make me a blog cover that puts some of these art styles together? I wanted it to kind of merge the art styles. And then for some reason, ChatGPT has just been super like it's super literal lately. Like it's your literal conscientious friend that is like, very pattern oriented thinking. And I feel like Midjourney is more of like your creative, whimsical friend. It's not going to be quick to add like numbers and letters to your designs. And so I feel like ChatGPT is more for if you're doing some type of marketing graphic with words and you give it really good input, it will create you something pretty cool. But I've had to tell it so many times to stop putting words on the image because it's creating more of a graphic than it is a like an art visual style image. So yeah, I said no bumpers. But it knows what I mean, like that's
Just
the best
knows
part.
what's
It
up.
knows me. And then I said no words either, and we got there. And I think this
There
is
it
so
is. It's cracking
cool.
up right now.
I think this is a really cool image. So we're gonna go look at it on Claude real quick for a fun experiment.
Okay.
So I saved it to my device, and we're gonna go into Claude, and we're gonna go to our site's tab here in Claude Code, and, and we're going to wait. I'm going to put it into our actual folder. One second. We have lots of folders here. Okay. One second. Okay. I just put a image in the folder. Can you change the I think I did this one. It put an image here, but I did not like that one. This blog image in this new image on the blog card itself and inside. Okay, so while it does that, I'll continue because it'll take a few minutes. But yeah, I kind of wanted to see what else it would create and go back into our blogs here and then how we built a voice agent, your old software, your website, HC, Claude routine. So time, I like this one for time. So I'm thinking about from hours worked to outcomes created, how AI is changing how we pay teams. So I'm going to put the blog title in here and we're going to say, can you create me an image for this blog? And maybe title was the wrong word to use because it will use words again. But um, one thing about ChatGPT that you can do if you want to have more of a consistent art style and you're using it as your source for AI images and for business images, you can actually create a custom GPT that follows your art style and has more direction in the background, maybe some inspiration photos. And if you don't know how to create a custom GPT, you can go into GPTs and press custom create GPT on the top. And then you go to my GB, create or my GPTs is where all of yours live. And you can create and you can go and even ask ChatGPT, how do you code or code this GPT, direct it, what wording do you use properly to create a proper AI image for your business GPT. But it created this one that's I think pretty cool where it takes time and is kind of like bringing it into this uh, bar here. And I really like this AI or this art style. So that's kind of one way of like what it looks like to create and how my brain works to create a pretty cool image. It's just kind of knowing the art style, getting something that you like, and then and going into that collaborative, co-creative process to create more. Because, if I created 10 more, the eighth and ninth one's going to look like they start getting a little bit farther away from the source. So sometimes I have to give it back this main picture and to keep it on course. So maybe creating a GBT now for this blog image would be more efficient. So it says that picture is huge. Maybe I need to go and make the picture smaller. Let's see, it pushed to Vercel, so let's go check out what it looks like. There you go. I think that looks so cool. We have our first blog image for our business, and I think it looks amazing. That's
Very
like,
artistic.
yeah, it's like it's still like professional looking and has that like artistic flair that I really like. So I think that that's really cool. And just sometimes everything is not built overnight. That's just part of the process.
And it's not fully automated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fully automated. Daniel really wants to automate image generation, and
Anything in particular.
yeah. So, yep. So there's our blog images. If anyone has any questions, let me know. But next, we're going to go into Midjourney. So Midjourney is a beast. Um, I
Very cool.
I think it's just such a fun co-creative tool, like I showed you guys earlier. And when you go into Midjourney, there's this explore page, and it looks different every time I'm in this explore page. And you can go and just kind of see what people are up to, like what's the vibe. I'm not sure how it's sourcing these main images that come up and like why they're picking these ones. I'm not sure about that, but you can kind of just see what people are creating and get some inspiration yourself. And I just get like mesmerized for a few minutes when I'm going onto the Midjourney page of like how people's brains work and like people that maybe can't draw out of their hands with this modality, they can put what's in their brain into these tools and create something pretty cool. So when you go in, if there's something like, oh, I really like, whatever's happening on this image, okay? It looks like, oh, it's just like a glare off of a tray or something with cards. But you can kind of see what words did they communicate? It's all about, right, how we communicate to these tools. What words did they use to get this type of vibe for this picture? Again, I don't know those art styles. I'm not sure, like, I'm not a photographer, so I don't even know like camera placement and composition and um, um, you'll see people put like Kodak, some type of camera, and like you'll see them put that into the prompt. And I'm just not ever sure about that. So anyway, you can just learn from people's prompts. It'll even show you the person that created this prompt, and you can go and check out their art style and see the things that they create. And there's usually like a pattern. And then you can even use these prompts in yours and change some stuff around so that you can practice or play with it, play with creating your own prompts. And then down here is like kind of the tags that they use in their filters to actually create this picture. So they used, and I'll show you the filters in a second, but like chaos, raw, stylized, and then this is, I think, using other people's pictures. I'm not sure profile. I'm not sure about that one, that tag. They're kind of adding more tags as we go along. Um, so yeah, that's a good way of just seeing how people are generating these images if something inspires you on the explore page. But like we did before was we could search in this search bar and see how people are like for example, I was thinking of coffee, like a coffee brand the other day. I got excited about it. I don't know. Coffee, and you can look up like coffee product as like a keyword to see how people are positioning like a coffee bag and how they're creating product images, brand images for coffee. And so I remember trying to do some type of Shopify store or something, and I went and looked up like, let's see, like you can look up like blank t-shirt. Maybe it was like a t-shirt idea. Everyone has a t-shirt idea at one point, right? Blank t-shirt, yeah. And then you can go and take this person's picture because it's not like the standard pictures that are available online. And you can put this, this cooler looking picture like this one, where it's not so standard, and then put your logo on it in ChatGPT and kind of merge those together, which I would use ChatGPT for product image placement more than I would Midjourney. Midjourney, I would use as a source of creating maybe a cooler product picture, and then go and put it into ChatGPT. But you can also screenshot one of these, put it in ChatGPT, it would create it as well. ChatGPT is getting really good with image generating right now. So that's just something you can use as the search bar. I feel like you could utilize that to get, more source of inspiration. And you can also use this for the art styles and looking at the art styles. Something that if I don't know what the art styles is, so I'll use like one subject and type in like lion. And you know that a bunch of people are creating multiple types of pictures with lion, types of art styles. And so then I can go and learn if I'm going from an art style thought process, I can go and type in like one subject like lion or an elephant and go see what types of art styles exist within that just one subject. And I could like again click onto it and see what's happening and what words they're using to get this image to come out, like stone coiling symmetrically around the lion's body. So it's giving direction. We're a director as well. Not only are we an art stylist, a photographer, we're a director. We have to direct these tools of what's happening in the image. Where's the placement of the lion? Is he like this? Is he like this? Is his back turned? You can tell the tool where, how you want those things to be placed. So it's also telling it that spiraling around the legs, the chest, the mane, massive, realistic fur detail. That's another keyword. Calm, dominant posture. So let's use this one. And I'm going to change the subject here to what's an animal? What's a cool animal that this would look good on? A giraffe. Standing tall and big, full body, direct eye contact. Sometimes it says lion again. Okay, yeah, here it is. Giraffe's body. Fur detail, calm, dominant. Okay. So I'm going to press enter and I'm playing with their text and seeing what we create. Let's do one more just to see. This one's cool. Detroit Lion. Oh, it's a football. Wow, see, like this art texture is pretty cool. Lion expressive, but they use some type of picture, I think. Okay, so we'll let that one create. So there's this create tab in the back here. I mean, on the side here. And you can, I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Okay, so see how there is no spiraling happening here. Sometimes that it just doesn't work out when you use the other text. And I'm not sure sometimes, am I being floating? Because they might have used an inspiration picture to create that. So let me see, a logo, lion doctor. So some things
Hmm.
are just, you have to maybe give it an inspiration picture. You need to be more direct with maybe my prompt. Like, because sometimes you get lucky on prompts. Like they're like, it got the thing that I was thinking of, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So we're going to actually show you how we can create a good prompt here, and use images as our and how we can manipulate the prompts as well. Okay, so up here on this is our AI enter bar, obviously. AI enter bar. Y'all, my words aren't coming. It's like 6:40 a.m. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, but here are all of the pictures that I've uploaded over time to use as a starting image. Every time that you click into this bar, it starts as a starting frame that wants to prompt you to create a video. It's really annoying. So you have to click out of that if you want to use these other buttons. So these are a good place to start if you want to use images you already have to create something different. So AI and manipulate an image is sometimes easier to get something that you really want, rather than just leaving it to the AI and maybe it doesn't understand the words that you're saying, just like we just saw. So image prompt is a good place to start for, I want to create, like it's using the structure of the image, like there's this rocket, right? And it can use this rocket, but instead of smoke coming out of the rocket, I want rainbows coming out of the rocket. But I'm still going to say what's happening in the photo so that it has that context, but I want to change the smoke coming out of the rocket to rainbows. So a rocket shooting up in the sky with rainbows coming out of the bottom of. And then if there's something in the image that I don't want in there, I'm going to put no. So like no smoke. Okay. And then I can press enter. And then style reference, while that loads, because it takes just a few seconds, there's the style reference as well. Style that I created an app, like an astrology app, and I wanted to create more cohesive images. So that was really fun, to see it kind of all come to life and do one for each astrology sign. So like this one's Gemini and this one's Taurus. And so I was able to create those using the style reference prompt. And then I would use one source of a style, one source of an image like this one to create all the styles to look the same. So I can click into, let me see which one. Okay, this one's round for now. So it's just using the colors and the vibes. So I can say like a girl just for now. Okay. And then the last one here is the omni-reference. So a lot of people are using omni-reference to create those caricature type videos, just like I did for the one that we saw in the beginning of the webinar with the robot. I used these character omni-references to create those more consistent prompts. And then I created the images and then made them moving. So I'm going to use him and I'm going to say like a robot in an ice cream store. Oh, eating ice cream. Okay. Okay, so let's go check out our create tab. We're going to remove this out of my way. Okay. And so here we go. Oh, it still uses smoke. Maybe I was supposed to put one dash. No smoke, but it's still using smoke. But we do have rainbows, at least, right? That's coming out of the rocket. It put it in the placement of that image that we gave it. It changed the art style. Can you tell that it only used this one as the art style, but then put this rainbow on the back? That's more of the most closely related image that we have. Then we do have some rainbows. again, these tools are changing and evolving and updating, right? Like every time. So sometimes when I get back on to Midjourney, like I have to figure out what's happening with the words that it's using or the words I'm using and how it's interpreting. And there's also versions. So we'll go into that in the second of this filters tab, and I'll show you maybe why some of this was created like this. So here we have the girl standing on the beach with this art style. And I think it closely relates to this art style that's happening that I put it as the style reference. And then lastly is our robot eating ice cream. So his face looks very similar. His little emoji in the front design looks similar. This one has ice cream on his head. So this is kind of how you can create. These are so cute to me. This is how you can create a character over time, putting them in different places. Maybe you create a whole channel, social media channel, just with this orange robot guy, and you can create images, I mean, memes that teach people something about something that you're excited about. So I want to show you the filters tab. There is multiple different uh, filters that you can use to manipulate your images as well. Maybe start with some type of, get some creative inspiration just on maybe you have an idea in your head, but you're like, I don't really know where to start. You can use the filters tabs to kind of like generate some images to get you a starting point as well. So I said earlier that these all looked so different and they're not very closely related. I realized that I had my variety pretty high, where it is variety. What that means is it's always generates 4 images, and so it's this number is it's doing like 30% different or I don't think it's 30%, but it's generating 4 different images that have that variation degree maybe to Midjourney. But if I put it really low, then and I knew what I really wanted, and it to be more closely related to the prompt that I gave it, then I would put the variety low. If I didn't know what I wanted, I'd put it really high and maybe get a starting point and then go edit from the pictures that I'm creating from there. And I'll show you that in a minute. So starting point a lot of the times is you want to think about the aspect ratio and the size of where is this image that I'm creating going? Is it going into like a web page? I'm going to go more in the landscape. Is it a logo? I'm going to do a 1:1 ratio. Is it on social media, like in a reel or a story? I'm going to go more on the portrait side and doing like a 9:16 that will fit into the reel size. So maybe you don't have to know, but it's just a good starting point because every time you like if I created this image in a 9:16, it's going to look different than if I created it with a 16:9 or a 4:3. So because it is creating images at the top and bottom of those, and it's going to populate different part of that design based on the size. um, so that's something to think about, but you can always resize it later. There's standard versus raw. Standard is creating that Standard is more using the Midjourney aesthetic, and raw is creating more of those photorealistic images if you're creating some type of like those branding images that I showed on the knockout gambling earlier, just creating more raw photorealistic images. Next, we have the aesthetics. Aesthetics is a great place to start and have fun with, just like I said, with the variety, but there's also stylization. And stylization isn't like I talk about these filter levers about sometimes they're really touchy. So stylization's not too touchy. A variety is not too touchy, but weirdness is touchy. So like it can get real weird real fast if you go up on this bar. Stylization is just kind of like, yeah, how much is it applying that Midjourney aesthetic, the creativity, Yeah, it even says low stylization values produce images that are closely matched to the prompt but are less artistic, and high stylization values create images that are very artistic but less connected to the prompt. Okay. And then weirdness, same. It introduces quirky qualities to your generated images, resulting in unique and unexpected outcomes. And then, but I think the bar goes up to like, yeah, 2,500. Um, and the stylization only goes up to 1,000. And then variety only goes up to 100. So when we were looking at those tags on the pictures, that's what those mean. Stylization is at 150, chaos is at 35. I don't know why they call chaos and weirdness different, but that's what this one means. And then it tells me my aspect ratio here and what I didn't want in it. And then, yeah, there's no variety. That's the version. Okay. So let's play with this a little bit. I'm going to go put my aspect ratio as a 4:3, and then I'm going to keep my bars low. We're going to say like a lion in the park swing set. Okay, standard 7. Speed is just all about tokens if you want to have fast or turbo. I think on the free plan you get relax. I'm not sure. And then this is all about videos down here. So we're going to say a lion on the park, in the park, on a swing set. And I have no stylization or omni reference in here. So it's low. I'm going to do a lion on, well, no, we're going to go and use our tools. We're going to copy the prompt. And we're going to change this to stylization high, keep these the same. I'm going to do the same thing. Put the weirdness high. Put the weirdness low, and then do variety. Okay, so we have high stylization. I think it's just very simple prompt, so it's not. Did I put the raw on? Because it looks very raw. Okay. Maybe it's just not the most fun prompt, but stylization is high on this one. Oh no, this was just low. And then this, sorry, stylization was high on this one. So it created more of that, just like this one's a pretty image, right? But they all look kind of the same with this close up style. And then this one was weird. This one was a high weirdness. So it created this pretty weird lion head. And then this was like a box swing. So it added something different to, okay, he looks like he's on like the killing, like a killing thing. Okay. Yeah, so it just put it in a weird, kind of a different environment with this weird, you just never know what you're gonna get with these images sometimes, right? So this one was high weirdness, and then this one was high variety. Yeah, chaos. So it changed up the prompts and they're not as closely related to each other. Really interesting. Okay. So that's the difference in those kind of those levers. I think you'd see um more description, you'd see more discretion if you had a better prompt, more intense prompt, and not so basic. Um, let's see, a pure white Greek sculpture. I made this one earlier. I think we could play with him. So I wanted to show, because he's kind of fun. So I wanted to show you these buttons on the side. We have 5 minutes. So I just wanted to show you these things over here that you can take the prompt. If you're like, okay, I like this one. Let me just change it up a little bit. You can go and now go into the picture and them here or make edits from here. So there's this very button, subtle. It makes minor changes to the images, but it's up to it, like it's going to make those minor changes. And then strong, it'll create major changes. I've From my experience, very doesn't change it very much, even if I do it subtly or strong. Upscale will create have more pixelated images. So if you want to use it for printing or sharing, and you need it to be better quality, that's what upscale button is for. Remix, I can go and remix this. I'll go and remix this one strongly and see how it puts it in this image prompt up here. And I'll go submit it. But I think I still had my variety button on here. So I'm going to go back to that and do it again. Okay. And then pan, like earlier when I was talking about the aspect ratio, this is what these buttons would do. So pan, if I wanted to pan it up, it'd create more image on top of him. If I wanted to create more of his body, then I could go and press down. And so but then it also changes the aspect ratio. Zoom will put him more in the background and it'll zoom out of the picture and zoom and it will create more image on the side. So I'm going to zoom that to show you that one. Rerun is a good button, but it's kind of like remix to me. But it will rerun just this one with your prompt. So I'll put it rerun here. But with the remix, I had opportunity to go and change some of these things in the filter buttons. And then I can delete that. Okay. And then next is I can use the image, I can use the style, or I can use the prompt in the text button. And that's when I used this image prompt as um, as a starting image, or I can go and use it as the style reference for another prompt if I want to stay in that co-creative process just within Midjourney. It's the same as just uploading an image and using it in those buttons. And then I can also animate the image. So I can go and do low motion or high motion, or I could loop him. So I could make him, I think this is new actually that you can do this. Low motion, let's go play. So he's just gonna do something. I'm gonna do high motion and I can loop it in high motion. Let's go see what it created. But sometimes it'll give you can, sometimes animate manually. There you go. So there's this animate manually button that it will put you in the starting frame and then you can do an ending frame. So maybe you want him to end in the same place, but maybe you have to upload to have that ending frame, or you can loop it here. So he ends at that place. And I'll say like blowing a pink bubble gum and we'll press enter. Okay, let's go see what it created. Okay, so here we have remix. So it remixed that same one. He's looking in different places. He's wearing different glasses. He has a different hand position. And then we remixed him again with changing the prompt, that filter button. So this one, it had the high chaos or high variety, but didn't change it much. But this one, he's looking all in the same direction. And then this was the pan down. So he created more on the bottom half and see how they're very different. He's wearing um, what are those called? A toga thing. Here he's wearing pants. Interesting. Here he's kind of sitting Indian style. So see how the pan button can get kind of chaotic. You never know what it's going to create on the bottom there. And here we just did the zoom out. So he's the same statue, but see how it creates image on the side that you might not really like the vibe that it's creating. And then here we did this one was, I think I reran. Yeah, I think I did a rerun on this one. So this is how you can just use those buttons to see like, oh, I like the vibe, but maybe it can create a different vibe. That's how I use those buttons normally. And then here's our videos. So this one was just the low motion auto, and it created the bubble. Let's see how it did. And it just did one image or one video. And now he's moving because of motion high. Okay. And then here he's looping, but he's back to the bubble. And then here it's a slow one, and he's looping like that. Okay, interesting. So of course these things need a little bit more direction, but these are what those buttons mean, and that's the whole goal of me teaching this today, of just empowering you guys to go and maybe use these tools to create something for your business or your side project or your app, or your new website that now we can create with AI as well. And if you want to go into Midjourney, I think it's $12 a month. I've been saying 20, but I just looked at my bank statement the other day. It's only $12. And if you need some more direction, they have a really good help section that you can go in this in-depth documentation and understand a little bit more of the things that you can do. And it has this new AI assistant as well. So yeah, that is our AI image generation video for the day. We do this every 4 weeks. So and we're here every Friday. So I hope that you guys enjoyed and you got something out of this and you learned something and you feel a little inspired. Um,
Should I send the link
to which one?
to the group for the replay?
Sure. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you ever need some help in these tools or need help
Yes.
implementing automation or AI
Yes.
tools, we're here. You can book a call with us on our website.
Free
And
discovery.
yeah, free discovery call. So yeah, we will see you guys next Friday. And yeah, enjoy your weekend. Okay. All right.
I'll stop recording.
Bye
Is there
bye.
any
Yeah.
questions?
Is there any questions?
Stop.